So, Sabrina Carpenter's new album is bad. That's right. I think the album Man's Best Friend is it's not good. See how I didn't say anything about the album art? That's because I don't care about the album art. Or not so much in retrospect. Do I think the visuals were provocative? Yes. But that is not the hill I'm willing to die on. What I don't like is the fact that she used cheap tricks to get us to talk about the new album, which it turns out the album was in desperate need of. Let's call it what it is. It was a DV reference dressed up as shock art, and taking into account the current political climate, it was absolutely a dog whistle. It was rage bait. And it was designed to get us talking because they had just about enough material to use for the first single man child and not an ounce more, which anyone who is not paid to praise the album will tell you. This is a perfect example of celebrities distancing themselves from politics while using politics to make money off of you. She can talk about how beautiful the 60s were, how inspiring Marilyn Monroe is, without ever taking into consideration the fact that Marilyn Monroe may or may not have been more than a dumb blonde that lost her life for speaking about politics. The fact of the matter is, there is no such thing as a dumb blonde, but occasionally there are lazy ones that dress up their lack of talent as you should just go out more. Here's what I'll say about the album art. I don't care if it was pushing boundaries because art is supposed to do that. Do you need to agree to it? No. But I can tell you with absolute certainty that censorship is much worse. I think it's okay to take creative risks, but I don't think you should use creative risks as an excuse to make below average music and then tell everyone that it's their fault that they don't have taste. That's not how it works. I'll give you an example. Lana Del Rey, has she ever been politically correct? No. Has she ever made a boring album? Also, no. Do I think He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss is a good message for little girls? Absolutely not. But can I tell 14-year-old me to put down the ultraviolence? Also, no. Lana Del Rey doesn't care about appealing to your temperament. And no, she's not gonna get a Grammy for it. She has been controversial, yes, but is it just for the sake of some attention? No. I think her music made it into the iPods of some very difficult feminists because it was simply very good. Do I think Sabrina Carpenter is doing that? No. She didn't make something objectively good, and I think she knew that because she used a strategy that a lot of people are using right now to get you to talk about something that is inherently not worth talking about, and that is rage. She has several album covers, okay? She could have shared any of them. She shared the one that would get everyone to talk about how anti feminist it is. And just the sheer thought of something being anti feminist gets the conservatives going. So she's got both sides of the spectrum talking about an album cover and having this senseless debate. For what though? After all that noise, the drama, the visuals, the controversy, we finally get to the actual album. And what is it? A glorified dump of B-sides that didn't make it onto short and sweet. And honestly, that's exactly where they belonged. Short and sweet was successful because it was just fun, okay? It gave us fun songs that not only dominated the algorithm but played perfectly onto the idea of a fun girly summer. It's a good strategy, and she had good 4 songs on that album. You might think 4 songs, that's not much, but I think about all the albums that came out at the same time as Short and Sweet, and at best, I can think of 2 songs from each album cycle. Now you add a sparkly tour and you've got a good thing going. But the success made her team cocky, real cocky. They definitely got ahead of themselves because they threw quality control out the window, slapped a thematic jacket onto a bunch of half baked tracks and called it an album. Man's best friend has no cohesion, it has no spine, and it definitely has no bite. In fact, I think that Man Child on its own is relatively good. The visuals were powerful. Tears is mind numbingly boring. The video is trying to play at our ABBA loving heartstrings, but somehow fails miserably to do so. Nobody's son is copy my homework, just don't make it obvious version of because I loved a boy. I think she could have just released Manchild as a single, called it a day, and then returned to the studio to work on something that stands on its own and doesn't need cheap dog whistling to make a name for itself. Now let's get into the reviews of this album. Everyone out here is raving about the production and the quick wittedness of the lyrics. Are they listening to the same album? Because I genuinely don't think we are. He gave me his whole whatever, and I gave him head is quick wit. To someone whose entire personality is fed by an algorithm, maybe. To the rest of us, no. And listen, I'm not one of those people who shies away from provocative lyrics. I don't care about the tour controversy that she had. She's 26 years old, okay? She doesn't need permission from somebody's dad to be hot on stage. I don't expect her to be the next Bob Dylan. I wasn't expecting political nuance from her. I was expecting a fun album, okay? Something that I could listen to when I'm getting ready. Okay? That's what I wanted. But instead, I feel scammed. It's giving Sydney Sweeney's jeans campaign that worked like bypass surgery for Gap's crumbling empire. It's giving it's giving Elon Musk doing whatever salute he needs to get trending again. It's giving where are the robots you promised? We're living in a time where people are using the political climate to push products that nobody would even touch with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because rage sells. Think of rage as the new sex. And when you don't have talent, rage is the only marketing tool you've got left. The song The Subway is genuinely good. Okay? I've had it on repeat. It could be the fall anthem, but is it getting the same amount of attention that it deserves? No, because it's fighting for oxygen against Sabrina Carpenter's album cover, not the actual album. She's not getting clicks because the music is good. She's getting clicks because the album cover is bait. And this is the whole game now. I wanted to listen to the album before saying anything. I really did. I don't want to judge the album based on the promo alone because I do believe art is art, okay? But I've listened to it twice now. I realize the songs, they're not terrible, they're forgettable. I couldn't tell you it's good if you paid me. And I have zero desire to go back and listen to it. Why? Because it's not that it lacks depth, it's that it's not fun. And fun is what I was looking for. At some point, we have to stop giving our attention to people just because they know how to rage bait us. Because some things aren't political, they're just lazy. Your jeans are not better, you just have nothing else to sell. The album didn't flop because it was controversial, it flopped because it was hollow. It had no message, no momentum, and nothing sticky or memorable. That, in this era where everyone's fighting for your attention, is the ultimate failure. Not because it's bad to fight for our attention. You have to do that. That's what marketing is all about. It's because you're not even good at it. All you need is our attention, and you can't even get that. It's embarrassing.